Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble, on the blogger site, and on Patreon for extra support. And any kind of news and updates and the such, I usually go about on the Twitter X platform. I kind of took a small break during this weekend, so I can rest a little bit from the gaming stuff there, so I can have a little bit pause. Throughout this week, probably, since I basically wrapped up Dead Space Remake, I will eventually, today or tomorrow, I will put this on the completed gameplay series. I will eventually go about and record Jedi Survivor episodes as soon as I manage. Every time I do an attempt, I record, but I still didn't have a lot of time to go around that boss there, and also, I did already wrapped up the first gameplay through of Elden Ring, so I'm kind of on a reset stuff, on starting everything from scratch, let's say. So, in terms of gaming, I will start during this week, probably recording some Midnight Suns, which is the game that I'm going to do there. I'm going to do from the base game. I managed to claim that game on Epic Game Store when it came out a few months ago. I will start recording that, and eventually I will start publishing episodes. I want to have some episodes on the backlog, so I don't miss out anything there. And I will eventually start a new Game Plus on Elden Ring. Again, I will try to stream between today, tomorrow, something like that, to try to resume, try to stream almost every day if I can. And at the moment we'll stick with live streaming, a little bit more focus on that, and at least one active gameplay series after I wrap up Jedi Survivor, which I will assume I will wrap up soon, given the status of the narrative flow and the boss itself that I'm fighting against. I will assume I'm reaching like the closing of this game, so I can focus on one game at a time, so I also don't lose thread of what I'm doing in each game, and take a little bit more enjoyment of that game that I'm playing, so I don't just do mechanically just do episodes out of nowhere, and don't stress too much on trying to keep up on the of the launching and publishing of those episodes there. But yeah, basically that's my overall plan. Again, I will continue, of course, with the gaming news, as long as there is news that I think that are worth bringing up. And again, I usually manage to reserve a couple of minutes or something like that to do these gaming episodes, gaming news episodes, programs. I will continue to do this. Of course, I'm not going anywhere for the time being. But yeah, basically this is my brief update on the channel there. Yeah, I think I've got everything covered there. And again, on the live streams, probably with this new Game Plus, I'll go in a little bit more chilled, because we already did one gameplay through. I will eventually do also probably some Death Stranding. I need to go there, but I'm only afraid that I get addicted too much on Death Stranding and kind of fizzle out the new Game Plus on the Elden Ring. I'm not sure, but yeah, I will try to manage all of that throughout this month until we get a more stable schedule there. So let's go to the news. We've got a lot of stuff coming. We've got the official confirmation from AMD regarding the Ryzen 9000, so the Zen 5 CPUs there. They're going to launch 31st of this month, so it's basically confirmed. And they already launched also kind of their own charts. Again, take it with the huge grain of salt is, which is supposedly comparing the 9700X to 5800X 3D, and this is for gaming purposes. Again, from here I don't have, yeah, we don't have here like a lot of the parts that are going throughout this testing, like the motherboards, sorry, the motherboard's GPU, so you can have a better sense of what is being limited more there, and the memory speeds and all that jazz. We don't have the complete setup that they use for this comparison, so take it with a grain of salt, even though they claim that it is around 20 to 12% faster than a 5800X 3D. Again, I will assume this is possible given the conditions that they put this on, and they claim this is from using the 9700X at 60 watt power, because there were some rumblings that they might able post-launch to increase a little bit more of the TDP of this specific CPU here. Given that this the 7700X, I'm not sure how the wattage is. 105, and they lowered to 65 watt TDP and try to maintain the same kind of or better performance and lowering the voltage. I think it's one of the things they are trying to achieve here, given, as you can see, even the 9600X uses the 65 watt stuff instead of the 105. I'm not sure if this is correct. I think the 7600X also uses 65 watts. I think this might be not good information here. But yeah, other than that, similarly, the TDPs and the max clocks are confirmed. We don't have MSRPs yet, which I'll assume will be an increase on the, or at least at the same MSRP on the equivalent CPUs there, because the 7000C is already dropped a little bit there. On available promotions, all that jazz. I don't think they are going to try ramp up the price there just by the sake of it. I think we'll try to make it competitive, which is interesting. And what else? Yeah, basically this is the information that we have for the moment being. But yeah, take this performance uplift with a grain of salt, given it is from AMD information here firsthand. But yeah, at least we might see some uplifts in terms of performance, probably. But yeah, basically from this is what we got in terms of official information, and with that also the overclocking enhancements, the curve shaper that was being talked about but never confirmed so far until now, which is interesting. This is kind of the thing that have the undervolting and kind of the overclocking functionalities of the Zen CPUs there. This will be updated, this new function, through firmware, and supposedly it's going to support DDR5 8000 megahertz thing there, and allow on-the-fly memory overclocking, which is interesting. In addition, the user will have support for the 5600 memory out of the box, and memory overclocking will be supporting all AM5 consumer chipsets, and it's not going to be limited to the 800 series motherboard chipset, so all across the AM5 platform, which is good, given that the majority of people already have the 650 chipset stuff there. I think it's the majority of consumers that have this kind of a chipset from the AM5. This is a new one, the 800 series. Yeah, curve shape. I'm sorry, I didn't highlight here that the site doesn't let me use that functionality. AMD explains why curves optimize enable users to dynamically adjust frequency voltages. Curves for Ryzen 7000 CPUs to enhance undervolting was limited before to the individual CCDs or CPUs, and now basically I think they broadened. It's more, it's not fluid. It is improved in that baseline there. Basically what you can do is reshape the voltage curve, adding a new layer for improved undervolting. Basically the same feature. It lets users selectively add or remove 15 different frequency temperature bands. So 3 temperatures, 5 frequencies. Basically, this is going to be on the fly, so depending on the temperature and the workload, it will undervolt or not the CPU, or even overclock the CPU depending on the workload that is going to do. As you can see here in terms of diagram, basically before it was kind of a fixed thing depending on the CPU, I suppose, and then now it's going to be more dynamic, let's say, in terms of how he goes about using this feature, which seems pretty good. Again, I don't think this people will not take advantage in all kind of workloads. I think this is going to be a more multi-thread optimization, given that the fact that it has related to temperatures. Usually the temperatures increase a lot when you use all the cores workloads. I don't think this is going to be very helpful on gaming, at least that's my perception, but you never know. You might take something out of this even on gaming workloads, because usually they don't use the full CPU cores. They usually tend to use, I don't know, between 4 and 6, depending on the CPU, and usually it's a very specific core utilization. It might help, but I don't think so, mainly because if it is dependent on temperature stuff, usually I don't think the CPU itself, and again, depends also on your setup in an overall scheme of things. But I think, rule of thumb, I don't think it's going to be necessary to introduce this, but you never know. Again, I will wait for reviews and gaming benchmarks and all that jazz for the usual suspects like Gamers Nexus, Hardware Unbox, and the such. Usually they have very detailed benchmarks and analysis on the CPU stuff side there. Yeah, when it comes out, I will sure we'll cover it and see how it goes. Continue with the AMD. They are now also continuing to make some deals on several 7000 GPU stuff, and the latest one is on the 7900 XT and the 7900 GRE. They are at this moment in an all-time low, and the 7900 XT is around 650, which is a good price given that the MSRP, the original one, was $900. So it's a huge good deal, and I really recommend this one instead of the 79 GRE, even though again depend on your budget, but if you can, I really recommend the 7900 XT. It has a good VRAM buffer there, and in terms of performance is relatively close to the 7900 XTX, but then again, depends a little bit on what you're trying to go about there. And there are several brands that are doing some deals here. We got from where is it, the Sapphire Pulse 660 to the ASRock's 650, also no 660 from the Sapphire, I'm sorry, to 650 for ASRock's, and 670 to the XFX Speeder Mark, whatever this is. Usually I recommend Sapphire. Usually tends to be the top tier from AMD AIB's brands there. If you can, the Sapphire for only a difference of $10. I think usually Sapphire has better cooling solutions overall, and in terms even on overclocking features, I think it can handle more stable overclocking there if you want to go about that way. But yeah, same that the prices are pretty good. Even the 7900 GRE is around 520, which is pretty good. But yeah, I think it's always a good thing for you to get around, and if you're willing to check a GPU, I think it's a good alternative there. Regarding NVIDIA, we got some leaks and such here, kind of a thing happening from Seasonic GPU, kind of the calculator stuff there, from what I understand, for you to check what is the better voltage for using depending on the GPU and CPU that you are using. Usually they have a recommended TDP or watt power for the PSUs that you need to use. And some people did some calculations here, and from the tables there, it seems that there is kind of for this 5070, 5080 and 5090, there is an average of around 10% wattage uplift regarding with the counterparts from the previous generation. So it's basically plus 550 watts from what I understand. But yeah, there is not a lot of official information regarding this. We'll have to wait and see, given that these GPUs, when they come out, they will come out by the end of the year. And from the rumors that we've been seeing, probably they will start launch with the 5080, trying to aim for I don't know, mainstream. I don't know. This CPU is going to be very expensive, even if they maintain kind of trying to maintain the $1,000 ceiling there. It's too expensive for a new GPU at this point in time. But yeah, I think they were trying to get this one, but probably they will launch this one before the 5090, and they will for sure with their marketing stuff they will put the 5080 in a place there's going to be an upselling strategy for the 5090. At least that's what they did between the 4080 and the 4090. The 4080 was so bad that people just went bust and might as well go for the 4090 at the time, the way they went about it. And of course, the debacle of the 4070 and the 4080 12 gigabytes and the 4080 16 gigabytes, the way they went about it, it was a butchering. Probably they will try to correct and not do the same thing. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see what is going to happen there. In terms of the gaming side, we got a little bit more info on Phantom Blade Zero preview, and it seems to be a pretty good game. It's more action focused there. In terms of the combat itself, seems that it's more about trying to take advantage of enemy openings rather than kind of Bloodborne seems a more fast-paced, and even Elden Ring trying to dodge around and try to get a weak spot. I think that from what I understand, the enemies usually gives you a little bit more openings for you to take advantage of, and for that you can use the sword. You got the arrow, the bow and arrow stuff there. Seems more in line for them to try and reach a more fluid and aggressive playstyle, in the sense that you take more the openings that the enemies give you, even though of course dodging and rolling is in the mechanics of the game. But I think they, instead of trying to dodge around and wait for an opening, I think the enemies usually gives you more openings, so the combat seems more fast paced. At least that's my perception. And in terms of graphic wise, they seem pretty good. The action seems pretty fluid, at least from this preview here from Phantom Blade Zero. I'm wishlisting this game to keep my tracks and my eyes for this game. It's one of those that seems pretty interesting. The setting itself always interests me here, and yeah, very dark kind of setting there, but it's in line with the story they're trying to tell. At least that's my perception there. Unless we got, again, more Assassin's Creed things happening here. This is a little bit old in the sense is, I think this came out like 2 days ago. But yeah, now we had, there seems to be the Japan Expo, and Assassin's Creed tried to do some marketing stunt there with some props that there is on the booth to provide an immersive experience. And of course, people, because this game is on such of microscope level of people trying to figure out what they're trying to do in terms of shenanigans. Yeah, somebody already, like in 5 minutes or something like that, after they did this tweet or something like that, they were pretty quick to find all of this in Amazon, even though they where is it? They yeah, Pure Arts Limited, they try to tag this company, I suppose, to say that they were the ones that provided the setup of the booth there on Japan Expo, and our people were very quick to find out that all the from these photographs here, it's basically you can buy on Amazon for cheap, from Japanese users to even, and then came to a more broad attention through grams. That yeah, as you can see here, you got the funny thing is that even the katana is from One Piece. It's the Zoro sword, whatever this is here. I never watched One Piece, but I kind of aware what it is, what kind of anime is it. But yeah, they just went for Amazon and just bought a lot of stuff here. From the stand of the sword is exactly the copycat of that, and also the sword here with the grip here, which doesn't make sense on samurai swords. Usually it's near the sheath where the sword comes out, and you can see it's very cheap stuff there. And I think this is sold on Amazon as a bundle. These kind of things, those three things are sold as a bundle, which is, again, these people really are completely out of their depth. And it comes out. It came out also. I will need an article to guide myself through. But even the guy that launched the book. He was caught on Wikipedia trying to, through anonymous accounts, trying to boost the sales of books, making references as a trusted source on all this shit that is going about here regarding Assassin's Creed. And I think to a certain degree, those DEI consultancies firms and even the inside Ubisoft, they thought that this was really a trusted source, which is not. It's like a fantasy, almost like a fantasy novel there regarding the Black Samurai stuff there. And again, it is a shit show, and they double down taking into account that trusted source on a novel. It was basically a novel with had some historical inspirations, but it was basically a novel. But yeah, one more for the checklist that they are just screwing it up. This is just afterwards the complaints of Japanese people. This has been taking to attention of this Satoshi Yamada, which is a Japanese politician that is accepting information regarding this AC Shadows game of it's not even appropriating culture, is how they are just misappropriating the culture and misrepresenting the culture in Japan, especially on this specific time period. And they basically are accepting feedback so they can probably bring to their own legislator. And I don't know if what they're going to do, probably I don't know if they're going to mandate Ubisoft to change a lot of stuff, and if not possible, they just might outright ban the game itself in Japan. Because even if they don't ban, I don't think Japanese people are going to, in a overall sense of things, go along with this kind of things. Given that they are completely misrepresented here. A lot of the seasons are off from the vegetation that they have in. It's very in terms of cultural significance, they are very attached to that because it's part of their culture. The seasons, even the architectural building is completely off, with some Chinese architecture mixed in there, which doesn't make any sense. And to a certain degree, for more conservative Japanese people, it's very offensive. That kind of stuff. I understand their point of view, because again, it's just shitting up all over their culture. It's not funny. But yeah, this is where you're at this moment in time with Assassin's Creed Shadows. I think Ubisoft in the next couple of years, this is going to hurt them a lot financially. But we'll see how this goes with their quadruple A gaming narrative and philosophy there. But yeah. And then that, we got some gaming deals that I want to wrap up with. We still have Lights of Pi, got around almost today, so you can get this deal for 40% off. We got Dragon's Dogma 2 is 20% off at this moment in time. We got Planet of Lana 40% off. We got also The Long Dark 40% off. This is a pretty good game from what I understand. We got Nier Replicant 60%, and also Nier Automata 60% off. Yeah, basically this is what I got for you today, guys. I will just wrap up with a plug on my Patreon as usual. The Patreon is for extra support, and in this moment in time, I'm more focused trying to get around and get a better storage solution for me to be able to get backups of the stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. And with all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. So until then, Kunamy Master out.